What's up, guys? Welcome back. Today we're talking about a story again about how I became a learned extrovert. And the whole premise of this, there's an epiphany at the end, a whole one premise that we'll get to after we get to the story. So I grew up very shy. Like in class, I was the kid that wasn't talking. I was always reading. That was my thing. I would just read all day, and I virtually had no friends for the majority of my childhood. Until I got to high school, I found my group, this and that. I found a pretty crazy group too, but that's another story. I never considered myself to be a social person, and that was until I found this YouTube channel called Simple Pickup. And it was these three nerdy guys. It was like this Asian dude, this Indian dude, and like this mixed dude. And they're like complete nerds. But they would go out, and they would literally approach women, and they would get numbers, and they would start making out and show results. And then you'd be like, at least for me, it was like proof is in the pudding. Like, it's possible. Look at these nerds, being social. Look at how are they doing it? And they weren't even like that good. But seeing it from the outside perspective of these nerdy guys who were able to have results blew my mind. And I was the guy, growing up, I didn't have a good grasp on social cues, how to read people. I didn't know anything about anything. Style, how to do hair. I just literally nothing. Like ground zero. Basically everything I've learned on my own. So a bit of a chip on my shoulder there, a bit of like I'm going to prove to the world I can do this. A lot of hustle and willpower and motivation. But for the longest time, I just didn't even know it was possible. When your brain doesn't see what they call a lane, when you don't know that it's possible, you have virtually no willpower. Why would you have any motivation or willpower? But the minute that you see a lane, like, wait a minute, look at these guys, they're doing it. Same thing with YouTube. There's some people I follow that are making videos that I want to make. Wait a minute, he's doing it. It gives you the energy and willpower to know that if I keep on going, I'll get results, right? Come around college time, funny, I'm actually on a college campus right now. I start doing approaches. It took me years to finally consistently do approaches. Like, I was too scared to walk up to strangers. I remember when I was 18, I tried with my friend, and we just couldn't do it. We were just too scared. We got rejected. The one rejection hurt too much, and we just went home. Fast forward about a year and a half later, I don't know, something happened in my life where I just wanted to change. I was tired of being the person I was, and I was willing to do whatever it took, and I started approaching 5 people a day. How's it going? And what I remember from that is the first 5 people I approached, I would get the worst social anxiety you could ever imagine. Like, it would be like painfully awkward. Like, I would walk up and I would just be like, hi, to literally anybody, like even if they were in a group, and they would just look at me like I was crazy, and I'd be like, whoa, what's your name? And basically I would get rejected and rejected and rejected. But what I noticed was the fact that I wasn't giving up and I kept on trying, I started to get better at it, slowly but surely. Eventually I went on some dates. Eventually I got a girlfriend. That was over the course of like 6 months of going out consistently, working out. It wasn't just the going out, it was everything. I was waking up early, I was doing everything right for a little bit. And I got a girlfriend. That's another story. Shouldn't have got the girlfriend. Guys, don't get a girlfriend early. That's a mistake. When you're still growing and developing, this is a whole nother side tangent. When you get a girlfriend, it can really disrupt things in your life. Like, you're on this upward path and you're finally getting some momentum, and then getting a girlfriend can sometimes bring you back down. At least for me, that's what happened. But that's a whole nother side tangent. So, eventually, I start traveling. I think for the last about 5 or 6 years, approaching has been my number one thing. Like, I always approach. It's a habit that has never really left me. Even during COVID, I traveled during COVID. The jobs that I've done, I bartended, serving tables, event videography. I would walk up to people. I've always tried to hone in on my quote-unquote social skills, and I feel like I finally got to the point. And then vlogging too. It's a very out there thing. You have to get very comfortable with talking in front of a camera and having everyone stare and not really care anymore. You get used to it, but after that, when I was 19, when I started doing 5 approaches a day, I became obsessed with getting out of my comfort zone, seeking discomfort. I even, I love this YouTube channel called Yes Theory, where they would walk up to strangers and go on adventures. I just became obsessed with it. I studied it. I had mentors. I took programs. And, I'm finally getting to a point in my life where I'm actually getting less obsessed with it. I'm more about, I need to start making money. I'm getting obsessed with different things. But this 5 or 6 years, I feel like I'm at the end of a 5 or 6 year period where I became an extrovert. Now, wherever I go, I'm not shy to talk. I will talk to anybody. I've done it enough times. I've gotten rejected more times than most people have approached. I'm comfortable with it. So I guess you can already tell what the premise is based on the story. Social skills is a muscle. And 5 days a week, I treat my social skills like it's a workout. Like, I don't know if I'm going to continue to do this forever, but as of right now, I have a folder in my phone with my routines, and one of my routines right next to my workout routine is I have to go practice my social skills. This to me is practicing. It's getting outside, it's talking in front of a camera, it's kind of getting rid of a little bit of social anxiety. But right now I have no nervousness, and sometimes I do. It's give or take. Some days you feel nervous, some days you don't. Here in a sec I'm going to do some interviews, and that's big practice. Like, you got to work on approaching, how you're coming off, you get rejected. I treat it like it's a muscle, and I genuinely see it as a muscle. These last 5 years, I've noticed that anytime that I've been inside for too long and I want to go out again and start approaching and meeting people, it would make it way harder when I was inside for, like, let's say 5 days. Let's say you don't work out for about a week. When you hit that gym after a week off, you're like, damn, like, sometimes you feel stronger because you got rest, and that's true too. But let's say you take 2-3 weeks off. Like, you're not working out, you're not eating, taking your protein, you're just off of it, and you go back to the gym. The next day you are destroyed. You're sore. It's way harder. You can feel that your muscles have shrunk a little. I view social skills the same exact way. Why are you so positive? What's the secret to positivity?
Oh damn, I wasn't ready for that.
The topic, we're talking all about social skills. And in the last 5 years, I've probably approached around roughly 5 people per day. Whether it be like a dude on the street playing guitar, like, hey, how long you been playing guitar? Or just like this right here, like, hey, could you want to be in my interview?
Yeah.
And one thing that I'm good at because of that is reading people. At least I think I am. Okay. And I'm going to attempt to read you.
Okay.
You wake up early.
I mean, sometimes. Like, when I really have to.
Okay, no, but for real though, you give me this vibe of, like, you're super positive, you don't let little things bring you down, and you're kind of just excited for life. You probably like to travel.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
Like, the vibe you give me is, when I used to travel and you're around travelers, they're just like, interview, like, yeah, of course, like, yes,
I feel like I see these all over TikTok.
Yeah, you're like, finally, it's my chance to be in one of these interviews, except this is, like, way different than any interview you've probably ever seen. I feel like I'm finally hitting a point where I'm kind of ready to leave all this game stuff and pick up stuff behind a little bit and start to focus on different areas of life. But before I do, I kind of wanted to go out with a bang, and I've created this course where it's meant to take you from beginner to intermediate. It was the course that I wish I had when I was 18 and I was too scared to approach.